on? Really?
Never done before.
Is it now? Is it live?
I turned you on, man. always turn you on. That's what people don't understand.
Phrasing.
Now that Veronica's not here, we can sit here and we can be honest about this.
So you want to be honest about our relationship and how you turned me on?
Oh my!
I had the remote switches and everything.
Ooh. So like the little vibrator button where you like have a pager on it and you know. Beep, 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 beep.
I like to think of it more of a silent taser.
Oh, that's awkward.
Ow!
That's what I said.
Shocking! Absolutely shocking.
In case you couldn't figure it out, Rogue is in my room and causing problems as ever. Little dogs. No, V is not a trans man. Good Lord. V is out of pocket today because of bowling.
Yep.
So there you go.
So welcome everybody to the Sausage Fest.
Yeah, we're back to the Sausage Fest. What can I tell you? What were you saying, Doc?
I don't have a red dress anyway, so.
Well,
damn it, Terry does.
Rectify that.
Terry can wear the red dress.
I've threatened to do that already.
I wouldn't say he can. I will say he has.
I at least have a beard to do a Terry impersonation. No.
What is this?
Yes.
Just so you know, Rouge is the name of Paul Sibian. Rogue.
Yes.
If only we could spell together, James.
Rouge.
Yes,
No,
Rogue is the
cat,
name.
Rouge is a Sibian, so no.
That's entirely possible. This is going to get obnoxious.
And this isn't even the After Dark content, so.
No, we haven't gotten anywhere near there. No. Yeah, no. See, Rowdy brought up thunderstorms here in his neck of East Texas. Well, then we're going to get those two over here. Terry, did you do well with the storms?
I did fine, but I grew up on the riverbanks of the Guadalupe, and I have been through some of the flooding that they've had, and it can be obnoxious. It can truly be bad. I want to make something clear that it seems like the national news services are kind of glossing over about this, and that is that the National Weather Service did give timely warnings, and the river authority, not the National Weather Service, the Texas appointed river authorities are the ones that are responsible for installing all the gauges and warnings for flooding. So blame being blame, it needs to go where it's due. And in this particular case, the lack of having, those localized warnings in areas that are prone to flooding, well, that's Texas. Blame the federal government for other things, but this one is Texas. In addition, it floods fast when you've got lots of water coming down there. And if you've never seen a flood like that, it is unbelievable.
Yeah, if you've seen some of the footage, you're just watching a wave come down the stream and watching the banks just go higher and higher.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't take very long at all for that to happen. When I was younger, it was before I was 18. I was in high school. I can't precisely name when it was. We had a bad flood in the part of the Guadalupe where I was at, which is nowhere near, not really where the flooding happened this time. And my parents' house was up a big hill. It had to be 30, 40 feet above the water level of the river. It made it all the way up the hill and into the yard.
Oh my.
It was an incredible amount of water. I never imagined that was even possible. And the water was going over bridges and everything in the neighborhood. It was an awful sort of thing. And if you've never witnessed anything like that, it is nothing like you could imagine.
And that was back when the mammoths were drinking at the river's edge, correct?
Yes, I did in fact see a dead mammoth floating underneath one of the bridges. It was caught by the horn, it was the little tusk was caught underneath the bridge and it was kind of like dragging along. It was a terrible sight. You've got to be careful and take care of those mammoths, all right? If you don't, they're going to go extinct.
Yeah. Don't herd mammoths in a floodplain. No.
When I was a Boy Scout, we did a river trip on the Arkansas, And we didn't understand or didn't get the warning that the day before we got there, or the day we were heading out, there was massive thunderstorms at the head. And so the water came and found us. And not only did we make really good time, we were early, almost 8 hours early for the rendezvous. We had to deal with snakes and trees, which is just, I had never seen anything like that in my life. And we had one fall into the canoe. It was great.
I grew up in West Virginia, and the house I lived in was on the top of a hill. So it's like there were times when we couldn't go anywhere because when you drove down to the bottom of the hill, the streets were flooded and you couldn't cross the street. But if we knew that if ever that the floodwaters were high enough that they were coming into our house, everybody else had much higher problems.
Now we've done all this flood talk.
Yep.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul E. Cooley. Joining me today, Terry Mixon, and who's this other person? Oh, Doc Coleman is joining us.
Hello.
We don't know why. Veronica is MIA today because she's doing stuff. So it's just us three. You'll have to hold off all your kind comments because Veronica's not here. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So we usually start off with a little small talk. Mr. Coleman, what have you been up to lately or creatively?
I have been busting my butt trying to get a book ready to publish. It is finally here. It's finally ready. It's not here till August 1st, but I've been pulling. Yeah, thanks, Rowdy Rooster. Yeah, the Bugs Bunny show will be later.
That's after dark.
Yeah, that's after dark. But no, I've been when I put out my first novel, the Perils of Prague. It was always intended as a series, and it's just taken me a long road to get things done. Writing, not so much of a problem, but editing was just a real pain in the ass. But finally got all the edits dealt with and got it laid out and got a beautiful cover from Scott Pond, and everything's come together. So, and that just happened. That just happened in the past week. So, I've been riding a high all week, and I came on here because I wanted to share it with people because I'm excited about the new book. Actually, having two books in a series sounds so much better than one book in a series.
I think we've all been there at some point. Even Terry has been there.
Yeah.
This is a series, but I've only got one book. I need to fix that.
Yep.
And then he does it for like 20 times.
Yeah. And it's also been weird because I've already done the first draft of the third book. And so it's weird having two complete books done that you can't really talk about because there's no point in talking about it when other people can't see them. So the second book, The Kindred of Kali, is in pre-order now. If anyone's interested and wants to check it out on Amazon, and that's gonna go live on August 1st, and August 2nd, the paperback drops. So I'm stoked.
We do have a link to his website in the show notes, folks. So easy click, you'll be there if you want to check out his stuff.
Or you can just my website I still need to update. That's one of the things I've got to do this weekend. But or you just go to Amazon and search for Doc Coleman Steampunk, and either Perils or one of my other stories should come up first. If you leave Steampunk off, you end up getting stories about by somebody named Coleman about the gunfight at the OK Corral, which might also be interesting, but it isn't my stuff.
Well, Terry, what have you been up to?
I've been writing. Right.
That's your job, isn't it?
It is my job, but I've got a deadline coming up, so it's an important.
Uh-oh. Another one?
I know, it just seems like this happened just recently.
It just recently happened.
They keep happening.
It's like 6 weeks ago, there was a deadline, and now there's another one. And in 6 weeks, there's going to be another one. What the hell?
Yeah, what kind of schedule is that, man? 6 weeks. Do you ever get a report card at the end of these 6 weeks?
I get a little gold star.
A little gold star. Where do you put this? Mommy put them on the refrigerator for you?
I stick them on the forehead of a random cat, and we see how long it stays there.
I want pictures.
And then you pick them up off the floor in various random places, right?
Pretty much. Get them cleaned out of the litter box later.
Oh, God. Because I needed that.
There is that.
James asks if you approach your deadlines like your renovation contractors.
Yeah, it's all optional.
That's where you stand there and you listen to them as they whiz by.
So no news on the renovations? That's all done?
It's done. I've still got the upstairs windows to do, but we'll schedule that when we're ready, when I've cleaned up after all the cats being reintegrated. They are partially released into the upstairs, so the males and the females are once again commingling. We've taken the troublemaking little girl and put her into Donna's office because it's really sad. She is a very loving cat, but she just loathes other cats. Mm-hmm. She cannot be around them. She attacks them. She's ill-tempered. She gets along with dogs much better than she gets along with cats. Go figure. I don't know that. But sadly, I'm going to have to look around and see if I can find a place to rehome her because she'll make somebody a great cat, but she's not happy here.
Hmm.
And we've had her for a decade, and she's gotten worse over the years. So it's not going to get better.
She's gotten more stubborn and cantankerous.
This is exactly right.
Yeah.
But she'll find someone. She loves human beings, just loves them to death. So we will find somebody that she can love.
Yeah. It has been my experience that the male cats are all very loving, but the female cats get territorial.
They kind of do. You know, maybe we should have a DRS giveaway. Want a cat? We'll have a giveaway.
Shipping not included.
Right. Special bonus if you happen to live nearby the bowling circuit, so you can have V courier the cat along with the kids. Right.
Oh man.
And James had said it's done, except for, to be clear, the windows is a separate project than the renovation. Different people.
Yes.
And I could not do the upstairs because the cats were all up here. So there was no way to make that happen. When we're ready to go ahead and have them do it, we'll schedule it. They'll come out, and it'll take a single day to make it happen, just like it did the downstairs. I have no doubt of that.
And then there will be a party.
And then there'll be a party.
And as long as they do the fashioning on the exteriors properly, you won't have water damage.
Well, let's hope.
Well, I have an announcement.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Oh, yes. I finished the audiobook for Oceania.
Ooh. And by finish, you mean canceled, right? No.
I wish. No, it's done except for the intro, outro, and the fact that it has no cover. So that's an issue, but at least it's in my rear view. So I finally got something done! Yay!
Is that the first year?
I'm back to work on editing Extinction, and now I have to start recording Saculina. So that'll be fun. I think that's going to be a lot more fun than Oceania. I hated Oceania because I've read it so many times, and Australian accents, oh God, they're awful. Unlike Doc, who can do accents, I cannot. Ice cream party. I'm missing this meme. Somehow I've missed this meme.
I think that's the party for Terry to celebrate getting the renovations done. But you could also take it as party to celebrate you're getting your stuff done.
Ocean party. Okay, I just didn't read the second comment. I thought it was the same comment twice. Got it. Yeah, James, I've been super busy, but I need to get busier. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I also need to get back on camp because, speaking of deadlines, I have one of those coming. And in September, I'll be out of pocket for 2 weeks. So I have to get this thing done by end of August, which means I need to really get started. I think I only have 5,000 words, and that's just not going to do it. I got to go a lot further than that really quick. So hopefully I'll hit the same dopamine craze that I did Kill Shelter in, and to get it done, fairly quickly. If I write 3,000 words a day, should not be a problem. I just need to get back in that zone. Anyway, so that's what we talked about there. But now we got to talk about this Gaslamp and Steampunk and all this other kind of stuff where there's like airships and cogs and stuff and thingies and stuff that doesn't make any damn sense but looks cool.
Oh, it both makes sense and looks cool. Because I went to the trouble of trying to make stuff make sense.
Isn't that like a violation of steampunk rules if you try to make it so that it makes sense?
Yeah. No, you just have to be extra creative about it.
Well, first let's determine what steampunk is. According to Wikipedia, steampunk is a subgenre of science fiction that incorporates retro-futuristic technology and aesthetics inspired by, but not limited to, 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. Steampunk works are often set in an alternative history of the Victorian era or the American frontier, where steam power remains in mainstream use, or in a fantasy world that similarly enjoys steam power.
Yep.
That seem like a good description?
That's pretty much. I mean, my world is definitely an alternative history. I've come to refer to it as the world of the Eternal Empress, because the big departure for me is that Queen Victoria never died. That there was some incident that happened at some point, and since then she has become what has been known as an Eternal. And the prevailing theory is that she is the only Eternal, and there are a lot of people who take that as a sign that she has been blessed by God to rule Britain for eternity, and to bring it to gloriousness. And in some circles, she is actually worshipped as God's messenger on Earth. But there have been several assassination attempts where it's like they've literally blown up the carriage that she was riding in. And she emerged from it completely unscathed, except all of her clothing was gone, the carriage was gone, but she was untouched. But she's much more background. She's kind of the political backdrop for everything. Most of my stories are focused around Professor Harmonious Crackle and Miss Titania Bang. And they are being accompanied on their travels by a young English lord, who in the first book he gets rewarded for his services to the Crown Prince. Nope, she's not a mech. The mechs come in the second book. He's rewarded for his services to the Crown Prince with the title Sir Richard Blasphemy. And they do travel in an airship because
As one does.
But part of it is because Professor Crackle has been tasked with apprehending a villain by the name of Lord Scalesley, who is another Eternal, and it's a particular problem that comes up in the first book, The Perils of Prague. Scalesley is mentioned, but he's not actually present in the second book. The second book, airship pirates do come up in the third book, however.
The
that a
hypothetical
common-
third book.
Is that
What?
a common
The
subtrope?
hypothetical third book.
Yeah, the third book already the first draft is already written. It's getting it to publishing. That's the long strike. But
Damn it. Rick says Professor
No.
Crackle killed Professor Plum in the study with a monkey wrench.
This is steampunk, okay, Rick? You need to go ahead and scratch the word wrench off of that. He killed him with a monkey.
No. Well, possibly with a monkey, but usually with a spanner.
Okay, that's just wrong in so many ways. Are airship pirates a common thing in steampunk? Steampunk, I guess it just never occurred to me that could be a regular thing.
Well, if you've got airships and you've got a lot of air traffic, why would you not have pirates? I mean, if airships are basically, a lot of it is looking at it as sailing vessels of the skies instead of the seas. So why would you not have piracy? Part of the
It
problem
just never occurred to me.
Part of the problem is how do you manage piracy airship to airship? And I do go into some of that a bit in the third book, which is The Rage of Ragnarok, because it deals with deals with Viking sky pirates who are operating over Southeast Asia, which in itself is my favorite pitch for a book ever.
That just sounds so wrong.
Yeah, well, basically they've been chased out of all the other more civilized lands, and they found that Southeast Asia is just wild enough and has just enough a good commercial traffic that they can make a living. So, but
A steam-powered James, why do we need a steam-powered giraffe?
it's a band.
Isn't the fact that it exists a reason to have one? I mean, seriously.
Why a giraffe?
Why not?
I get the steam power, but why
come on.
in particular a
You know,
giraffe?
if you're going to go ahead and do something as unusual as a giraffe, it's literally sticking your neck out because it's an unusual kind of thing.
I'm not going to reward that with comment.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to something you said earlier, Paul. I made a note over here so that I could bring it back up. You said you poorly pronounced or poorly enunciated steampunk as steam pump.
I heard,
And I want you to know that
myself
that's,
do that.
I want you to know that that's basically steampunk erotica, steam pump.
Oh, no.
This is steam-powered symbian, right?
That's right.
Quick. Oh, my God.
Don't get anything caught in the gears, pal. That's gonna really hurt.
We thought
Do you have to pedal it while you're on it? I mean, what the hell?
No, it's steam powered.
it's steam-powered.
That's true.
Got a
That's
little
true.
engine.
That's true. Oh, all the soot, the flaming soot getting down on stuff. That doesn't sound like
you
a
have to
good
wear
thing.
goggles while you're riding it too. It's mandatory, and little things on the eyes and the hat. You got to have it all.
Yep.
I'm ashamed this conversation ever happened. Absolutely ashamed.
No, you're not, you liar.
Let's just avoid woodcuts or any classical Japanese work. Yes, let's do that because, After Dark, once again.
You're talking about steam-powered tentacles?
No. It was much worse. Robot boobies. Why would robot boobies be steam-powered, Antoine? Explain this to me. Oh my God. What is a mechanical cervix made from?
Anything you want. It's mechanical.
Well, they should go ahead and have a special material for it. They could actually call the material cervix, so the mechanical cervix is made of cervix.
Yep.
We need to save this conversation for After Dark, and Rick, you're not helping. You're not helping. Anyway, you didn't have to put that up there.
Oh, yes, I did.
Good
Yeah.
God. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Yeah, this turned into After Dark. It certainly did.
It's the sausage fest. What can you say?
Yeah, it's not coming from me. I mean,
Oh no, it doesn't.
Paul says, Terry, you need to be more engaged. Then I get more engaged. He says, Terry, you need to pull back a little bit.
Terry, you need to be less engaged. If I go to sleep.
Yep. And Juan, have you read some of my stories?
This is demented even for DRS. Oh my God! Yes.
Yep. So after I put out The Perils of Prague, I had the chance. That's generally good advice for Terry anytime, right? No.
Pretty much, yeah.
Um,
In steampunk, the rhythm method means something completely different.
But,
Steam-powered condoms?
No, you got to have this little mechanical tick tock, tick tock, tick tock to give you the rhythm you're going by.
Doc, save us. Go on to something else.
You got to have the steam-powered metronome to go ahead and give you the timer for this.
So after I got Perils of Prague published, I got invited to do some anthologies, and most notably a series of 3 steampunk anthologies from Eastbeck Books under the Forgotten Lore title. So as much as possible, whenever I have to do a short story for something, I make it a crackle and bang story. Because
as one does. Here we are. We're back to steampunk.
We're back to tie-in. It's a great tie-in. But I call those my crackle and bang vignettes. So where was it? So those are kind of my spin-off stories. And actually, we were talking about Steam Powered Draft. In one of those stories, I created a Clockwork Horses. And the idea was that when these were originally created, they were all brass and shiny and beautiful, and they were horrible because people fell off of them because the horse was too slick for the saddles to stay on. So they came out with the next revision where they glued leather to the metal. The problem was they had to have enough room for the joints, so they left the leather a little bit loose there. So they ended up looking like pantomime horses. So they got referred to as pantos. So I created that for my story in A Cast of Crows, and now it's kind of entered into my world lexicon and gained its own thing.
Rowdy says now you can gather them in a collection and publish them.
Yep. I currently do have a collection of short stories out there. That's The Shining Cog and other steampunk tales, and that is a cat. And that contains The Shining Cog, which I did for Scott Roche's Way of the Gun Bushido Western Anthology. It's got a story that I did for T. Morris and Philippa Ballantyne's Tales from the Archive, and it's got 4 Crackle and Bang stories in there, including one that only shows up in that volume. So,
okay.
But now I've got more. So there's going to be other short story collections later. But
that'll be good.
Yes, James, Crackle and Bang.
Snap and crackle and pop. Where's Pop?
There is no snap.
Antoine says he's picking up the short stories in the first book.
Excellent.
Well, if there's no Pop, you could go ahead and have Snap and Crackle's father show up, and he could be Pop.
Got to read.
I should have a response to this, but yeah.
So the one thing about doing a series is there's stuff that you want to be able to talk about, which is already known in the second book, but is kind of a spoiler for the end of the first book. How do you guys get around that? Do you just spoil shit or what?
No,
I get around it by the simple expedient of having no idea what's going to happen in the second book by the time I finish writing the first one.
No, but it was when you're putting out the second book and later books, how do you avoid spoiling the earlier novels?
I assume people read in order, so if they want to read ahead and spoil something, that's their own business.
Okay.
Well, in a way, you could argue that it's being a spoiler based on the fact that you're mentioning characters that were in the previous book. Therefore, we know they're coming. So you can talk about it in generalities, but it's just like in Dresden. They don't really talk too much about Harry's universe, except to say he's a wizard at some point in the description. But the rest of it's just basically the stinger for the story itself.
Yeah.
So then you just ignore everything else that goes around there, talk about it in generalities, and move the hell on.
But one of the things I tried to do with this series, because I wanted it to be an episodic series, and I want you to be able to pick up any book and be able to have a good, full, complete story, is that I've tried to keep it so that you don't have to. You can jump in anywhere in the group. Of course, right now that means there's only, come August 2nd, there's only going to be 2 places to jump in. But don't want to create that onus on the reader to have read all the previous stuff in order for it to make sense. But it's
Well, no, nobody does.
Definitely a challenge writing like that.
I definitely don't try to do that because I've been known to drag in a character from book 1 in book 5 or 6 and make them a prime villain, and then there people are like, "Wait a minute, this guy sounds vaguely familiar."
I just do it like with Derelict and with the Black. I assume that they've read one of the first 3 books, because those are really independent stories. When it gets to Evolution, though, you have to really have read one of them in order for some of it to make sense, or you will be much more familiar with the world if you have read one of them. And in Oceania, I don't take any... It's so different that I don't think you have to read any of the other books. It's a standalone, is the way I look at it. So the description of it is just basically rip the first couple of lines from the Black and then put the rest of it on there. Book 6, if you ain't read any of the other books, tough. I'm covering what I can cover in the time, but you know what? I have so many things going on that I just do not want to spend 10,000 words trying to sum up the last 5 books.
Mm-hmm.
James says Empire Bones does rely on previous books, though, like knowing Kelsey's nano situation.
Yeah, I make no bones about it. My series rely on the previous books because I will use elements of them all the time. Characters, I will recycle characters like nobody's business. I will pick up threads that I've left in the plot and just run with them when they seem right. So I am definitely not the person to say, no, my books can be read alone. No, they cannot. If you pick up book 3, you are probably going to be wondering what the hell is going on here.
Well, part of it is that my series is set up so that each story takes place in a different location. So there's a core cast of characters which are traveling, but there's also always new local characters, and there's always some kind of new trouble that they get into. So if I have something that refers back to events in a previous book, there's always somebody to explain it to. And sometimes they come up with their own explanations for what they've just seen, rather than letting any of my characters explain it. So it's worked so far for me. So we'll see how
whatever works works.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way.
Yep.
Except if you're doing second person, that's wrong.
Here we go.
If you're doing present tense, that's wrong.
Here we go.
Otherwise, there's no wrong way.
Terry has spoken. Everyone say amen. He says, James says, you're writing a D&D steampunk party game, aren't you?
No, I actually gave up D&D in order to actually write these books. Sometimes that's kind of sad, but
Damn, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about role-playing steampunk, but it's got to be out there. It's got to be there.
Oh yeah,
spades.
T and Pip put out a Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences RPG, so it's definitely out there. I'm sure there's other flavors out there, but And I know that there are D&D expansions that add steampunk elements in. But,
Steampunk is not a genre that I've paid a lot of attention to since it's a very far away from my personal reading taste and the stuff that I write. It's not that I have anything against it; it's just not to my taste. So to be clear on that, but is it growing? Is it stable in the readership?
um, so the one of the weird things about steampunk fandom is a lot of the fandom is around the makers. And looking for steampunk conventions in the nation, a lot of it is about the makers and the cosplay, and um, they instead of featuring panels where you talk to authors about their characters, they will feature stuff with um, makers showing you different techniques for building stuff. Um, but there is a place for steampunk authors out there. It's just that we usually get overshown by people doing their own builds and by bands like Abney Park and Steampunk Giraffe that play these venues. But steampunk as a genre is still growing. I mean, honestly, a lot of publishing discards it um, because they don't know what to do with it,
I can
and
understand that. Yeah,
because that's what publishing does. They don't
that's
want
what
to
they
learn
do.
they don't want to learn anything new. They just want to stick with what they've got and pretend that that will cause success to roll through their door. Um, but yeah, steampunk is still growing. It's still becoming more mainstream, but it's also in some ways it's hard for people to get a lot of to get a real handle on. Um, I mean, you look at things like um, oh, Mortal Engines.
Okay.
That was a
Is that City of Bones? No, that's not City of
no,
Bones.
Mortal Engines was a post-apocalyptic type world, but the technology had steampunk all over it. Everything was very mechanically driven. Um, even though you actually had droids in it. Um, but one of the things that I like about it is I refer to steampunk as the place where all genres meet, because especially if you look at the Victorian era, um, they had absolutely no problem with the idea that um, that one man working on his own could master all of the disciplines of science and could build something either to save the world or destroy it. And at the same time, they had no problem with the idea that there might be elves and fairies out there, or that mummies from the pyramids could come back to life. You know, so you literally have these can have potential storylines where you've you've resurrected this ancient pharaoh in order to help you get the materials that you need for your machine, so you can go and hunt the fairies that live in the bottom of your garden. Uh,
As one does.
that's one
As
thought.
one does.
Come on, the
One.
Victorians, they hunted everything on the frickin' planet.
Well, this is true.
When
This
we
is
were
true.
talking City of Bones, did I mention the Mortal Instruments with it? Because I thought that I did. And isn't that the same? Isn't that the series name for City of Bones? Because I looked it up. Maybe it's not related. Maybe we're talking two separate things with the same name.
I don't know. Bones is a popular element in titles. So
Okay. Well, City of Bones is book one in the Mortal Instruments, and it's not really steampunkish. That's why I was curious because I
He
had
said
seen
Mortal
it.
Engine. He said Mortal
Oh, I'm
Engines.
sorry. Then I
I said
misunderstood.
Mortal Engines, and that's the movie where, and I think there are books related to it as well, where
Yeah.
they had basically the cities of England were put on wheels, and instead of sitting in one place and trying to prosper, they were going across the countryside, devouring smaller townships in order to get people and resources.
It's a goddamn Monty Python sketch.
It is.
It's a goddamn Monty Python sketch.
But
Holy
somebody
shit.
made a goddamn serious movie out of
Jesus Christ.
it.
James says, sadly, Wild Wild West fits in steampunk as well.
It is,
And
yes.
I got to admit, Wild Wild West is definitely one of my inspirations for how I'm looking at things.
Hopefully
about
the
the
original
original series?
series and not the movie.
I'm talking about the TV series that I used to watch every Saturday and Sunday on
In syndication.
Yep. And
That's
somewhere
how I
around
saw
here,
it.
I've got the whole thing on DVD.
Oh my God. Chad, if you've never seen the original series, go look it up sometime. I think it probably ages about as well as you'd expect. But it was written in what, the 60s?
It was, written in the 60s. It was basically take James Bond and run him back to post-Civil War America. And now he and his partner are traveling around in a train in the West, trying to defeat people that are being a threat to the freedom of the United States. So
It's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah.
It really is bizarre at times.
Yeah,
It's,
I watched the
conspiracies
original
and
broadcast too, Roddy. It was
mad
pretty awesome.
science. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
you want
it's
to
got
talk
everything.
weird show that's sort of tangentially rated, but it's definitely not steampunk. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. comes to mind.
Okay. I've honestly not seen that, but I've heard about it, and at that point in my life when it was out, I was not that much into westerns, so I didn't actively watch it. I was more into
It's got Bruce Campbell in it. That's all you need
space
to hear.
opera. Yeah,
oh God.
but
Well, there was two in chat who did not know that it was a TV series.
oh yeah,
I liked watching. There's one scene that sticks out in my head where Briscoe and his partner, who I can't remember his name, big black guy, I can't remember his name. They are confronted by some saloon girls, and they all pull pistols out from behind their backs, and the partner's like, "Where were you all hide those?"
Oh boy.
you don't want to know. Yeah, for people who've only seen the Wild Wild West movie, the original TV shows were serious drama adventure type shows, and when they made the movie, they went over the top in the comedy, and
They camped it.
they camped it up a little bit too much.
One of the things that the series had that the movie lacked was actual integration of the two main characters to where they actually had some type of
relationship.
emotional connection with each other as actors.
Well, in the series, they were partners, and they'd been partners for a while. In the movie, that was an attempt to show them getting together.
It was origin
No,
story.
they did a poor job about showing them to get together because those two did not mesh, not at all.
No, they did not.
Sometimes you run into actors whose characters and their on-screen personas just never gel, and that's one of those in that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, let's see. The
lots
first
of good talent, just bad execution.
the first episodes of that series, aren't they even in black and white?
Yes, like the whole first season is in black and white.
Okay. That's what I sort of remember.
Yeah.
It undoubtedly, I haven't seen it since I watched it when it came out. It will undoubtedly be dated, but it was good stuff when we were watching it.
It was very imaginative.
They were very creative about how they put James Bond-esque gadgets into that level of technology, and that is one of the fun things about working with steampunk is a certain amount of playing with the technology. That you've got to figure out, what's the effect that I want to do here, and how do I represent that in clockworks and steam engines and stuff. Everything is clockworks, steam engines, and if you actually have electricity, it's like It's unleash the lightnings type electricity.
It's all Tesla coils.
Yep.
Oh, God.
The first episode aired
Oh,
in 1965.
yep.
Wow.
Older than I am.
So I didn't watch it when it came out because I was born the year before that, but I watched it in syndication.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born the year after that. So, but although one of the things that I do in my series, part of the reason why Britain is such a dominating factor in the world is because one of the scientists in working in the British labs came up with a method for creating lightning rifles. So they have guns powered by little gas turbines that generate a huge charge of electricity, and those suckers are absolutely devastating on a battlefield because you're throwing bolts of lightning across at the enemy. Most people, knowing that they're facing troops with lightning rifles, just surrender.
See, so not necessarily usual for the steampunk, but I've had Clockwork Mecha on my mind all day. Of course, I'm oriented more toward RPG wargaming for that project. I don't know the reference. Clockwork Mecha.
Well, I was talking about Clockwork Technology, but you're building a mecha. A whole lot of it's going to be gears and pistons, and that's all clockworks and pneumatics. So.
Gotcha.
Yep. And no, go ahead.
James says, didn't Richard Dean Anderson do a Wild West series where he was the opposite of MacGyver and basically had a queue building him stuff?
I don't recall.
I don't recall that at all.
If so, I didn't see
My wife
it.
tells me yes, but I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah. You're.
The partner was the one who was the scientific one and built everything,
Right.
while the main character was the daring Jew.
Do you remember the name of the series? No.
Legend. Legend.
Legend?
Legend?
Legend.
Yeah.
He played Ernest Pratt, a writer who creates dime novels about fictional hero named Nicodemus Legend.
Okay.
Due to a case of mistaken identity, he is forced to embody his own character in the Old West.
So he had a partner that was a research partner who actually built the devices to prove that they worked, and when he had to become his own character, he actually used them. Interesting.
Now I've got to see the picture of what this guy looks like because I'm sure that's amazing.
Giant clockwork robots. Okay, that's what the mic is. Legend. All right. I don't remember ever seeing a commercial for that.
And in the new book, in Kindred of Kali, I've got women who've got harnesses. Who are wearing harnesses with a little steam engine on the top of the thing to power it, that give them extra arms, extra mechanical arms. So they're 8 armed warrior women.
That's got to take a lot of gears.
It does. Oh yeah.
Terry, did you find something?
I did. I found the image. I'm trying to find a better copy of the image because his partner is. I want to make sure that it's the guy that played Q in Star Trek: The Next Generation. What was his name? Richard Delancey? Was it
John Delancey.
John Delancey? Maybe.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Let's all say it
go ahead and
again.
paste this.
John Delancey.
Let's see. Copy the image and share it into Discord. But he looks like he should be, stomping on a thing and saying, "You tell him I'm coming, and he's coming with me."
Looks
That's
like
what he
Kurt
looks.
Russell.
He does look like Kurt Russell with this mustache he's got on his face.
So,
Okay,
yes,
Steam Powered
James,
Giraffe's a band. Got it.
yes, James, they are like Kali. They call themselves the Kindred of Kali because they want to basically drive the British out of India and make India completely independent. But
There you go. It's in the live channel.
The problem, James, is Q. When you say Q, I did not know that they were referring to the Legend or the Star Trek one. I thought they were referring to Q from James Bond. I was very confused. Very confused. Okay.
Where else would a mustache go?
Yeah, too fucking old.
That is a big-ass mustache. That is a big-ass mustache.
Well, Tim, I tend to wear my mustache elsewhere on my body. I'll let you guess where.
Oh my.
You know, shaving your anus just must be really tough.
Well, have you ever seen those nose hair cleaners? If you use that on your butt, it's actually very effective.
I'll leave that to you.
Thank you, but no.
I need to wait till I stop laughing so I can take a drink of my coffee. That was pretty good.
Oh my God. Yeah, thanks for that, Terry.
So remember, folks, when you write your complaint messages, Terry did it.
I'm usually the guilty party, yes.
We had a poll, and basically the one episode where Terry wasn't there, none of this kind of shit happened. So there you go.
I'm a troublemaker.
It's him. It's him. It's
He's
definitely
an
him.
instigator.
Thank you, but no hairs, you mean, right?
Sure.
Thank you, no butt hairs. No.
Yeah, back to After
And
Dark.
then, once you're done trimming, if you use a lavender oil, it makes everything smooth.
Oh.
I got so many.
I'm gonna spray coffee everywhere before I'm done with this. I've got to
If
watch
you're gonna
myself.
spew into this, man.
Ew.
Right now V
That's for the hot wax
has
treatment?
spit coffee all over the script she was working on, and she's gonna be like, "What?
That'll be really funny if she's actually listening to us. Complete sidetrack. I was looking for IMDb for Legend and just found out there's a TV series based on Asimov's Foundation. You just now heard that?
It was on
Yeah,
Apple.
The one that Apple's been doing for what, 3 years?
Something like that.
4
Yeah.
years, something like that. I haven't seen a single episode of it because I'm not going to go ahead and buy something specifically for Apple just for that. Sorry.
Silo's on there too.
I already
They're
have
doing a pretty good job with it.
Apple TV, so I have been watching it. And while it has departures from Asimov's books. It's kind of
It
like
would have to.
it's like it's from a universe like a block down from in the multiverse from the original Asimov universe, but it's interesting in and of itself.
That's going to be kind of hard to exactly replicate what's in the books because number one, they were written a long ass time ago.
Yep.
And tech has drastically changed, and there are some things that weren't even well-known scientific facts when Asimov was doing stuff. And then you're trying to basically dumb it down for the public at the same time and give them all the shiny things to and explosions and space battles and whatever the hell else they need because that's the only way you're going to keep them interested.
And the other thing is that they're written as short stories for magazines, so you're not keeping any of the characters around.
Yeah.
You know, Harry Seldon only shows up in the first story. After that, he's a figurehead who shows up as a recording. And everything else goes on from there. And, you know, movie producers don't like that because you have to hire lots of different actors and you have to rebuild lots of sets. So I kind of don't blame them for the choices that they made for this show. It's interesting and it makes sense from a movie maker's point of view because you keep a core set of actors and you keep sets, even though you can have tons of years roll by.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I haven't watched it either, and it's not for a complete lack of interest. It's just for a complete lack of interest.
Not because
glad
of
you
the
clarified that.
interest, it's because I don't care.
Well, it's kind of messed up because I haven't finished The Expanse either. And I stopped reading after the third book. And I watched season 4 and went, I'm kind of done with this. You know, I saw the great part, which was number 3, and I didn't think the series even needed to continue beyond that for me. The third book pretty much was that we could have left it right there. Humanity has all these worlds to discover. All right, I'm done. These characters have finished their journey. I'm ready to move on to something else.
Yep.
You're smacking yourself.
Smacking his microphone.
Oh, Lord.
One of the things that was in classical science fiction written so long ago that I personally would like to see, even though it is not scientifically accurate, I want to see Jungle Venus. I want to see the dry but livable Mars. I want those kind of stories because I miss them.
I would absolutely love to see somebody do a film adaptation of Heinlein's Between Planets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's I forget what the main character was. The main character was supposed to be going to Venus from Earth, and one of the characters that he meets is a Saurian who was the Venusian ambassador, as getting onto the ship. And when he gets to Venus, he's supposed to be meeting his parents there because they're researchers in the colony, and they've disappeared, and there's apparently some kind of rebellion going on, and he ends up like getting lost out in the jungle and having to survive in the jungles of Venus, type thing, and becoming tied up with the rebellion against the Earth Authority. But it's an interesting and dramatic.
Rowdy says he'd love to see a more accurate version of John Carter's Mars books.
I kind of disagree with that because I thought the version that they did was really good.
I kind of do too. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to see the Martian princesses with just harnesses of metal and no actual covering between the metal strips. But
Well, who wouldn't? But that's a subject for After Dark.
that's an After Dark subject, yes.
And rest assured, folks, those that are coming to After Dark, that's what we're going to open with.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I'm going to have to, take a break, go have a brain bleach applied, and then go to After Dark with a clean mind or something like that.
That's kind of a waste. No.
It is, actually. It's a waste of soap and
Yep.
bleach. It's horrible. This
Save
is
it
wasting
for
chemicals.
afterwards because Terry will give you even more things to want to bleach out of your memory. So.
Probably. Of course, I may do that to myself. It's been known to happen. That's 13 minutes. There even Martian Princess cosplay opening. Oh God, I wish I could do that kind of stuff. I wish I could do that kind of video stuff. It'd be awesome. Xander says he wants more sword and sorcery stuff, the pulp fantasy stuff.
In
You
terms
want
of
more movies like that, huh?
No.
More Conan the Barbarian, but much more the original, as opposed to the movies with Arnie in it.
See, I build my stuff as steampunk comedy adventure, because it was started off as pulp adventures in a steampunk setting, and I just kept putting in jokes, and it's like, no, I'm literally doing this for laughs. Screw it, I'm doing it for laughs.
You're allowed to. You're allowed
Yep.
to do that.
And it works.
Well, let's leave it there. They are remaking Red Sonja. I think I saw a news story about that, James.
No, they just released a trailer for it.
Okay, that's
I
what
hope
he
they
said.
do it justice.
I haven't seen it. I have no idea how good it is or how good the trailer is, but I know it's out there. It's coming.
Kind of like this sneeze. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, I'm going to try and get through the credits before my head explodes.
Okay.
If you have first of all, Doc, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Wait. Stop. he's got something there he would like to share, and we need to let him get a chance to pimp himself.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's the cover for the second book, yeah?
that's the cover for the second book, The Kindred of Kali. As I said before, this is the ebook is on pre-order on Amazon right now. It drops August 1st. If you'd rather have paperback because you're planning on going to an event where I will be and you want to get it signed, the paperbacks will be available August 2nd. So then that's the beautiful cover that Scott Pond came up with for me. And I'm real excited to get out there and hope people read it and love it. So,
All right, cool. Well, thank you again. Thank you for interrupting me, Terry. Thank you for joining us today, Doc. Everybody, I'll let link to his website on the show notes. So if you want to check him out, go there. I'll also take you to his Amazon links.
Yep.
And if you've got a question or comment about this episode, you can visit deadrobotssociety.com, leave a comment on this post, or leave it on the YouTube episode that you're watching right now. And you can find us at youtube.com/DRS podcast, where we are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST, except when we're not. Like and subscribe so you know when we're live. And if you'd like to support the show, before I get there, if you'd like to join our Discord, the link is in there. Join our creative community of nutcases and, inspire the madness. And let's see, what was I going to say? If you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows, like the one that's coming up in 8.5 minutes. And at the $10 level, you get your name read. And our $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Antoine Batts, Tony L. Joy, Rick Shaw, Lisa Slack, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our $10 patrons for making this show possible. With that, we're going to get out of here. You can talk about it in After Dark, Tim. Thank you for hanging out with us. And Doc, again, thank you for joining us. And we will have Veronica back at some point.
I don't know that she's going to be back next week. I think that she's still unsure.
Yeah, I think she's probably unsure. So we will be back next week and we will figure something out. Maybe Terry will finally wear his red dress.
It may happen. One can never tell.
About that brain breeze. I'm ending the show.
Put your ice sporks on